And a very good evening, everybody, and welcome to Fairway to Heaven, right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You know the drill. Hit the like, share, subscribe, retweet button, depending on which platform you're watching on. But we are live on Philadelphia Sports Network platforms right now. I'm your host every week here on Fairway to Heaven, Phil Stiefel. Follow me at Bearded Knowledge. We got my main man, as always, Jason Sullivan, sitting next to me at JSully2121. We got a special guest this week, Elyse Shimada. At ES Golf Bets on Twitter. Good evening, Elyse, and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
So tell everybody this if this is their first time. If you're not following her on Twitter, you definitely should be. But maybe give everybody a little background on who you are and what got you started in betting golf, because you've had some really good success over the last few years at this.
Yeah, so I mean, my name is Elyse. I am an attorney. That's my day job. I'm a litigator, so I have a very busy schedule with that. But one of my friends, started betting not on golf but on different things, and I was like totally against betting at first. I didn't want to do it, and then he kind of convinced me, and because I already focused so much, or I spend a lot of my free time watching golf, I got into golf basically because of Tiger. So Tiger is actually, fun fact, is from my hometown of Cypress, California. And he's also part Asian, and I'm fully Asian. So my dad and my twin sister and we always gathered around the TV on Sundays and watched Tiger Woods. And so that's how I got into golf in the first place. We didn't really watch football. We watched a lot of basketball because that was actually my first sport. I played a lot of basketball. I was varsity all 4 years for basketball in high school. I also ran cross country and track in high school and in college as well. I'm a runner, not really that much of a golfer. I try to play, but I'm not very good.
None of us are good at playing golf here. None of us. We all love it, but none of us are good at it. We're all better at picking golfers and actually swinging a golf club here.
Yeah, I mean, I also don't have time because I have 2 little kids. I have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. So it's just
and a career. That is one busy woman right there.
So this is my side hobby, golf gambling. And when I first started doing it, I was doing more like live bets, not really doing any pre-tournament bets at first. I was hitting a lot. So then I started, getting more into the process and just developing a love for golf betting, because it's probably the best sweat. I bet every sport I actually have a group chat. Someone does hockey, someone does soccer, someone does NFL, and I tail their NFL plays or their,
need to send us
plays.
Some of those plays there. I stopped losing money at basketball on a weekly basis. Real quick, before we get into today's show, and guys, and Adam, we're going to get to Tiger Woods. We are obligated as golf talkers to talk Tiger Woods this week. Yes. We will get into that with Elyse in a second. But Jason, I know this is a very somber day for you, and a day that means a lot to you and your community. And I just want to give you a second to say your piece and everything.
For sure. So as you guys probably know, I went to Michigan State. We had a mass shooting there last year. This is the 1-year anniversary of it. One of the girls who was unfortunately murdered is from my hometown, and her mom's a teacher at my kid's school. So definitely a somber day around here. They're doing a candlelight vigil for her right now at our local park. So Spartan strong for sure. Her name's Al Verner. She was a 20-year-old student, junior at Michigan State, and she was killed. So obviously a pretty sad day around this community, but we're going to honor her for sure.
We really don't like to get political on any of the shows I do on a regular basis.
No.
But when there's certain things like that, it's just bigger than sports. It's bigger than anything else that we got going on in life. And yeah, my thoughts are to everybody there in the Michigan State community this week.
It's just surreal when it happens at your school. Like, it happened in the building where I had my major at Michigan State too. So it's like, and I had 50 classes there probably. Like, it's crazy that all that happened. But yeah, thoughts and prayers to everybody.
Thoughts and prayers to everybody for sure. Okay, let's get back on track. Let's talk this week, last week, but importantly, because Adam brings up the first question of the day, is Tiger Woods the best golfer ever? That is debatable, but we are obligated to talk
Not
Tiger
really.
Woods.
It's not debatable.
It's not. I don't know. I've seen Jack Nicklaus play in person before. That's I don't know. Something about watching Jack play golf when I didn't know anything about golf. And a little side story, at least that's what got me into golf. I had an internship at the Senior U.S. Open in '98 or '99, whenever it was in the Pennsylvania area, and I got to watch Jack and Arnold Palmer and Chichi Rodriguez play a round of golf together on my time off, and that just got me hooked. That 10,000 fans were following these three legends around, on a practice round. So I don't know. Jack to me might be number one, and Tiger maybe 1B, but at least obviously you're a big Tiger fan. You just said it. Tiger's number one in your book. What are your thoughts on Tiger Woods and his comeback this year?
I mean, I hope we see a good 4 rounds out of Tiger. I think the leg surgery has, made his leg more stable and seems to be better than it was. Like I would just remember, I think it was last year, like he just like looked very fatigued after a couple of days. Like he was able to, put together like 2 days, but then of course, like the leg, it makes it much harder to get around after that. So I think he will definitely make the cut. I think he will play pretty well, although this is not really the course that he's had a lot of success on. This is actually the only course that he hasn't won on, right?
Yep. This is the course he's played the most without a win in his career.
Yep. So, which is also kind of odd at the same time, because a lot of people sometimes compare this course a little bit to like Augusta or like a major championship course a little bit, and so it's a little bit odd that he has not won here.
Jason, can I ask you a Tiger question? Because I didn't want to put our guest on like a tough question here. Is it bogus that Tiger gave himself one of the 4 exemptions to this event? No. It's something that's been eaten away. I love Tiger. Yeah. I love what Tiger means for golf. But this is an invitational. There's 70 or 71 golfers in this field, and only 4 exemptions, and he got one of them. To me, I don't know. Somebody else might have deserved that.
When you
spot.
Present the trophy, you can do whatever you want. When you have the track record that he has, you can do whatever you want. I think it's Elyse made a good point too. It's like it's really weird that you'd think like she said that this course would set up perfect for him. I mean, like it fits his game, like his prime game, almost to the tee. Now, obviously, with all the elevation changes, it's going to be a hard just for him to walk this course now. So I don't, like she said, he'll make the cut, obviously, which I think most people will make the cut, but I don't see him contending or anything.
There's 71 golfers, top 50 and ties make the cut, and anybody within 10 strokes of the lead. So there's a conceivable scenario where almost everybody, if not everybody, could make the cut. Elyse, you said you're from California. Have you ever been to Riviera Country Club?
I have not, unfortunately.
So my question is, there's a lot of elevation changes on this course. Elevation changes mean hills, up, downhill, a lot of tough walking. With Tiger with his leg, I had I had a really devastating leg injury in college, and I still struggle. I can't walk a golf course. This seems like an odd place to have his first competitive round of the season at, because he's had lack of success at this event, but also this is not an easy place for him to walk on a given day, right?
Yeah, but it's also, it's his tournament, so there's no way that he's gonna miss his tournament. Yeah, that's the thing. It's his tournament. If it was a different sponsor and he doesn't have a lot of success here, then I think we probably would not have seen him. But it's because it's his tournament. He feels ready to go. Then he's playing.
Gotcha. I think too. I think he obviously likes this course too. I mean, he might not have had tons of success, but he obviously likes this course too. And I was reading today that he plans to play, or his goal is to play once a month. So it makes a lot of sense, I think, to play here, probably the Players next, and then get ready for Augusta. I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense.
What if you had? He says he wants to play once a month. He says he wants to, that he wants to play more, so to say. If I had to set the line, and Elyse, you're a better, if I had to set the line at 4.5 events that Tiger will play in this year, this being one, you got the 4 majors, whatever else he intends to. Would you bet the over that Tiger plays more than 4.5 events this year?
Yes, because he's going to play all 4 majors. He'll play if he's playing Genesis, he's playing the Players, so you're already getting that's 6 already. So, yep.
Jason, you're confident that he can hold up, physically and make, because that was his plan last year. And then after the Masters, we didn't see him the rest of the year because of the leg and more surgeries and whatnot. I kind of not sure. I think this is the week to really judge what he is. At least, are there any bets that you would want to make on Tiger this week?
I haven't looked at the Tiger bets yet, but
would you feel comfortable placing? I don't know what the odds are, like a top 20 bet on him or anything like that, because I've kept him off my DraftKings card and I've kept him off my betting card completely, because when I see Tiger Woods in this situation, I just want to enjoy watching Tiger Woods. I don't want the money on it because you really don't know what to expect from him.
I'm not. Yeah, I really don't usually put money on him, other than to make a cut. But at this point, but
I should have looked up his odds. I did not look up his odds. I know he was like 250 to 1 to win or something like that earlier. He had really long shot odds.
I think I've seen him shorter to win than Ricky Fowler.
Oh my gosh!
Before you joined the chat, before the show started, me and Jason were talking about Ricky. We'll get to Ricky in a second. Jason, would you play him in any of your DraftKings lineups this week? I mean, he's only like 60. What is he? 65, 6,600.
I don't know how you play him, to be honest with you. Tiger's that rare exception to, I think, everybody, is that we all want to see him do well. So you don't necessarily have to play him in DraftKings or bet on him or anything, but just his success is just enough, I think, for all of us.
His success would be great. Right now, I said it to Jason, at least early in the season this year on this show, that, Tiger's great for golf. The thing that could save golf from all the problems it's having is Charlie Woods being successful at a very early age. In the near future, in the immediate future, Tiger Woods having some success and bringing some of that Tiger buzz back, I mean, it could help the game of golf for sure, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, especially because right now the game is so divided and fractured, and we don't have Rahm. We have a bunch of long shot winners winning. We don't have Brooks. We don't have DJ. We don't have some of the more caricatures, I would say, Liv has anymore. So yeah, I mean, definitely could use Tiger. And I mean, there's no one for how dominant Scotty Scheffler is from tee to green. He doesn't win that often because his putting lets him down so much.
We talked about this last week, Jason and I, your opinion on it, Elyse, because Scotty is in the field again this week. If Scotty Scheffler is the best player in the world right now, is our opinion. But if he could figure out how to putt, even level, he could be one of the 5 or 6 greatest golfers of all time. Do you think that about Scotty Scheffler's game?
Oh, yes. I mean, I watched so much of him last week in Phoenix, and it's just everything. I mean, his swing is so unorthodox. He has that, weird finish at the end, but everything is just so flushed. Never looks like it's going to miss.
I think I could swing a golf club like Happy Gilmore more than I could than Scotty Scheffler, because I've tried to take that Scotty Scheffler approach on a tee at the driving range, and I don't know how he does it. I have no clue how he does not fall over when he follows through on those swings.
Did you guys see the stat about Scotty about being world number 1? So they were comparing him and Tiger, and they were saying that Scotty's been world number 1, I think, for 70 or 72 weeks, whatever it is. He would have to continuously hold the number 1 ranking until October of 2035 to catch Tiger. That's insane. That is actually insane. That shows,
right.
Right?
You just made the argument why Tiger is the best of all time.
More than anything else, that shows the dominance.
That was like a mic drop right there on the show.
Insane.
Right there. Real quick, before we get back into Genesis, you mentioned all the long shots, Elyse. Again, last week, another long shot. You hit Nick Taylor, Waste Management, Phoenix Open. The tournament aside, all the shenanigans that goes on in Phoenix there. What is your take on why every single event this year has been 100 to 1 or longer long shot winning? Is it because so much talent has gone to live? Is it just the crazy weather, the wacky schedule? all of it combined. What's your take on the long shot constantly winning thing?
I think top to bottom, the fields are just so much better. Like the bottom players are so much better than they were in when Tiger was like dominating, when Phil was playing, Jack was playing. I mean, it's just part of it is the young players are just so good now coming out of college, and so that's part of it. And part of it, I think, is also the fact that Liv has taken away some of the top players that would like Rom. How many times did he win last year? Rom closes the door. Brooks Koepka, when he's in the mix, closes the door. We don't have a lot of those golfers that that can close the door when they're in the lead and in the spot now. Yeah, like I said, Scotty, for all his tee degree game, he has a serious issue with putting. JT has a serious issue with putting. Morikawa has a serious issue with putting. Finau has a serious issue with putting. Actually, those are the 4 golfers in the top 20 in Data Golf rankings. I saw this on Twitter the other day, that have a negative strokes gained putting in the last year. Everyone else is either average, not gaining anything or gaining something. They're not getting anything.
Even Hovland too. He's kind of he's a little bit better putter, but his short game stinks too. It's it is really, that's a great point.
Yeah.
I mentioned it the other week. Finau, it's so bad. Finau's hands
odd because he'd been doing so well with the coach that he had previous, and that was the weirdest thing to me. I was like, that's not a good sign for this year.
All right, so we go on to Genesis this week. Riviera, another one of those legendary courses. Also, another elevated event. Like we already said, 71 golfers, top 50 in ties and top 10 make the cut, or within 10 strokes make the cut. Jason, we'll start with you. When you're looking at the golfers in the field this week, what are the key stats that you're looking at for your DraftKings lineups, your bets, whatever, that's really going to set people, ahead for you this week?
We hear the term ball striker's paradise a lot, I feel like, but this is the definition of a ball striker's course. I mean, ball striking is obviously super important. Mid-iron game is going to be really, really important this week. 7 par 4s being between 450 and 500 yards. So that's another area. And then around the green, these greens are just I forget what the exact percentage of greens regulation is here, but it's super low. It's 51% or something like that. So around the green play is going to be super important this week. And then the tricky POA greens again. It's a lot of these putts, 5 to 10 feet is going to be super important this week. And you're going to see, you have, the last few times on POA, guys missing short putts left and right here. So that's pretty much what I'm focusing on.
Adam is asking, who is the best putter on tour right now? I'm looking at my Fantasy National. I don't want to go off of this week's event, but this week over the last 36 rounds, Taylor Montgomery, JT Poston, and Sahith Theegala are ranked as the best golfers in the field right now.
I'd say.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, who else would be ranking up there as the top golfers in the putting department?
Denny
McCarthy, always. Sam Burns always comes to mind, who's a great putter. Eric Cole.
Yep.
Gotcha.
But you also have to look. I mean, this week is POA, so you have to also look at who's good on POA greens.
Big difference.
What are you looking at, Elyse, outside of what Jason said this week when you're looking at your golfers that you're betting and stuff like that?
So in addition to what Jason mentioned, I'm also looking at those stats. I'm also looking at, like I mentioned, who's good on POA greens. I'm also looking at course history. I usually focus mostly on the last 36 rounds or so. I actually don't build a model. I just look at stats. And also just,
it's very interesting that you don't build a model, because we've talked about on this show so many times that people live and die by their model, and they base everything solely off what their model says. If you have a good understanding of the course, you just got to find the golfers that are in the best in those categories, right?
Yeah, and you just have to. I mean, you have to assess, who has win equity. I mean, sometimes I bet a golfer just because I like them, but not, like Eric Cole. Eric Cole does not have win equity. You should
No.
not be betting him every week at 30-1. He just doesn't have. And I mean, Cameron Young, I know a lot of people are on him, and I'm actually on him as well this week. But he does not have any win equity. I have been waiting for his win for over 2 years now, and it has not come.
Yeah. Eric Cole's the guy that I told Jason on our kickoff show this season was the guy that was going to cost me the most money this year. Because I just know that I'm going to want to play him and bet him all the time, and I just don't know if he's going to win.
I think with him now too, you got to worry about like
top 20 and call it a day.
Yeah,
top 20 and call it a day.
Well, with him right now, it's like almost like you got to start worrying about fatigue at some point. Like I know that. Well, he's not young; he's 35, so he was a 35-year-old rookie of the year last year. But he plays every week. It's like, dude, maybe sit out one of these weeks that you don't fit the course.
Can't sit out these elevated events.
No, but like last week, he didn't fit that course at all. Like that would have made sense to take a break.
Farmers. I mean, he missed the cutoff. Farmers. That one was that's the easiest call.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so let's look at this week's board. Like I said, we've got about 60 really great golfers and about 10 or 11 really solid golfers, and then one named Tiger Woods in the field this week. Let's look at the top of the board first, Elyse. I know you're on the gambling side, but on the DraftKings board, the top 4 guys price-wise, and the odds are pretty similar. It's Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Xander Schauffele, and Victor Hovland. Victor Hovland's first start after withdrawing from his last event to work on his game, as he said. I don't remember where I read somewhere that Victor Hovland might have a wrist injury as well that he's battling.
That's Xander.
Xander's got the wrist injury. Gotcha. Out of those 4 guys at the top of the board, Elyse, who do you like the best this week?
I can't look past Scotty Scheffler.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, he's just playing too well. And Riviera is ball strikers, like flushers. And so if you can just figure out the putting and putt like average, I think he'll win. Because it's not going to be a birdie fest. Doesn't have to go super low and make a ton of birdie putts. So I like Scotty in that range.
Yep. Jason?
Same for me. I almost feel like it's a little bit of a misprice. I feel like he's priced too low. If you're going to give me 4 rounds of Scotty in a tough field on a tough course, I mean, I'm taking him every single time. I mean, his price just seems super fair, and he actually gained putting strokes last week. Like he putted okay, except for the 4th round. The 4th round was a disaster for him, and that's probably why he didn't win. But I mean, he putted a little bit better. So if he, like Elyse said, if he can even putt okay, lose a stroke, maybe even this week, he wins easily. So
to be fair, Waste Management, he's putted well there like almost every single year versus other places. I think just likes those greens.
Yeah. I'm going to go a little differently because I love Scotty Scheffler just like you guys do. I do. DraftKings wise, I just don't know if I want to play him this week. And betting wise, for a baby better guy that doesn't risk a lot on per unit at what's he 5.5, 6 to 1. It's just not a worthy investment for me. And I thought about going, at least I don't know if you've ever done this. I got X amount to spend a week. I thought about taking my entire allotment and just dumping it all on Scotty Scheffler versus splitting it up between 4 or 5 golfers. Have you ever done anything like that as a bettor?
Yes. I have put
Has there been a place for me to do that then?
Scotty's going to win soon, I think. He's just playing too well not to. So if you really feel strongly about a golfer, that's the time to consider the single bullet, especially if their odds are if their odds are in the single digits, that's when you consider a single bullet.
I went a little different though this week. So I didn't bet anybody in the top 4 or 5 guys. I bet further down the board this week, some guys I like a lot. But for DraftKings, I went a little different. There's only one guy from the 9K range up that has lower ownership percentage. There's only one guy lowerly projected owned than this guy, and I like Rory McIlroy this week. I know he's not a popular name because he's almost feels like he's burned out from the PGA Tour, but he's had some success on the DP Tour over the last couple of months. And this is a course he's had a lot of good history at. He's projected right now, ownership-wise, at only 14.3%. Jason, am I crazy to use, out of those 4, only Rory McIlroy in my lineups?
No, I don't think you're crazy. I get a little bit nervous fading Scotty ever, But I mean,
So do
I see so many people talking about Xander this week. Like, if you could tell me who was more likely to win, I would pick Rory every time. So I don't mind.
I just think out of those top guys, it's Scotty and it's Rory, and then the other two, Xander and Victor. There's just not enough. I don't know if it's win equity. There's just something that feels vibe off with both those guys.
Xander
can't get behind those two guys.
Xander hasn't won in 19 months now. Like, for sure. I don't know.
Yeah, there's not enough win equity in Xander or Cantlay. Yeah, at this point, not for their odds.
They're almost the same. Like, I know so many people say that all the time, but like they're almost like the same to me. It's like they're gonna play well most times. They're not gonna win. It's like, I don't know.
Patrick Cantlay is one of my favorite plays this week, Elyse, and you just mentioned him in that category with Xander, and it breaks my heart. I actually threw 2 bullets at Patrick Cantlay because I bet him originally 18-1, and then I got a 50% profit boost on DraftKings. So I threw another couple units on him at 27-1 this week. Plus, he is in 10 out of my 20 lineups that I've built so far this week.
Going big.
I'm in love with Patrick Cantlay this week. I don't think he's missed the cut here in the last 5 years. He fits a lot of the categories that you want in a good golfer here. I don't know.
I'm in love with Patrick Cantlay this week.
Are you worried about how he's played this year, though? Like, his iron game has not been
a little bit worried, but I also think that Patrick Cantlay at 9,300 at 18-1, he's too good of a golfer to be that cheaply priced, that kind of odds, that it literally just take one course that he has comfortability at. There's also, I was reading some stats, and comp course off the tee, those proximity buckets and around the green. The only guys that are above average in all those categories, Scotty, Xander, Cantlay, and Max Homa. You know what I mean? In all the major categories that you want this week, they're the only guys. I'm trying to get different with my DraftKings lineups, and then betting-wise, 18-1, 27-1, I just couldn't pass it up.
So you prefer him over, say, JT or Oberg, either of those guys?
Over JT for sure. Over Aberg, I was hesitant on Aberg because of his ownership percentage. I like in that range. I like Cantlay. I'll go up to Homa. I'll go down to Spieth. But that's it. They're the only names in the 9K and above range that I have played this week or bet on this week.
Yeah, Cantlay is a little bit concerning. I mean, he got married last fall, so he's potentially at the marriage curse as we
the shots gained got married. Is that a stat now?
No, shots lost got married. Yeah.
Shots gained lost got him got married. Okay, gotcha. I don't know. I just look at Patrick Cantlay. I'm looking at his stats from Pebble Beach last week he played, and he lost strokes tee to green. He lost strokes off the tee. He lost strokes on approach around the green. That's not Scotty. That's not Patrick Cantlay. Like, he's not going to lose that many strokes across the board on a regular basis. And doing that, he still finished 11th place at Pebble. So that tells me something's right in his game. He's just really close. When you lose that many strokes and still finish in the top 15.
I know that JT is going to be higher owned than Cantlay this week, but 100%. I just feel like JT is just in a way better position to win, I feel like, than Cantlay. I feel like JT's game, obviously I think he finished 12th last week, so it wasn't great down the stretch, but like, he just seems like a guy that's like right on the cusp of winning to me.
Do you have anybody else you like in this range here? Max Homa, Colin Morikawa. Obviously, you already mentioned Aberg, and I know Elyse has got a bet. Supposedly, it's just a regular bet on Jordan Spieth.
For me, no. Well, actually, I take that back. I do like Morikawa this week. He has really good course history here. I feel like his game fits this course perfectly too. He's going to be a little higher owned. I think he's 21%, 21.4% right now projected ownership. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like he sets up perfect for this course, and I think he has 2 top 10s in his last 2 times here. So I like him a lot, Morikawa.
So, like, I know the cut making thing this week. Most people are going to make the cut, but I'm looking at, I got 14 names that have not missed the cut here with a minimum of 3 rounds over the last 5 years. And so far, all these names, Hovland, Cantlay, Morikawa, all the elite names are on this list this week. So if you're betting, it's probably, this might at least be the week that this long shot streak ends and one of these top golfers wins this event, right?
Yes, I think so personally. It's really hard to see someone 100-1 winning this. I do for in this range. I do like Spieth as a contrarian play potentially. I don't think he'll be that highly owned. I haven't seen him a lot on betting cards, which is odd because like everyone was playing him at Waste Management, and now no one's playing him, and he was tied 6 last week. So I mean, I know he's had like kind of up and down course history here. There's been some really bad years, and there's been some good years. Some of the good years happened a long time ago. Like if you have to go back further than 5 years, which is kind of a lot to go back for course history. But he's had a decent success here.
That's a great point too. I think on ownership is that he 7.5% right now is what I'm seeing. When everybody else, you're talking about JT being 23, Oberg being 24, Morikawa being almost 22. Like that's a huge difference. 7% ownership versus that. That's a big contrarian play.
That's why I put him in. Looking at my notes there, 8 out of 20 lineups, Jordan Spieth. And again, like I said, I like him 7. You said 7.5, and Rory at 14.
Yep.
21% between the two of those golfers in your lineup versus taking Justin Thomas at 22% or Scotty Scheffler 22% or any of these other guys up there, or even what's Aberg's at 25% right now. I don't know. I'm just trying lineup wise. I'm trying to get different. Betting wise, yes, I like Cantlay, but a lot of the other guys that I bet this week, I like because I think they fit this course. And I don't know about you guys, but this next range of golfers, I think, in my opinion, is there's a lot of great opportunities to bet and DraftKings play in the 8K range,
Yes.
which starts with Finau. You got Fleetwood, you got Burns, who we've already mentioned multiple times. You mentioned Cam Young, a very popular name this week. Adam Scott, great course history here. Recently, in the last 5 years, and also over the last 15 years, see Sahith Theegala, who's played great golf this year. There are a lot of names in this 8K range. It's kind of loaded. It was kind of hard to stay away from some of these names. At least any of those names or any other names in this range that you really, really like?
Fitzpatrick. I like Fitzpatrick a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick a lot of times is kind of my thorn in my side.
Same.
When he won the U.S. Open, I had thought he was going to win that U.S. Open, and then I didn't actually bet him outright, which was still kicking myself for that one. Yeah, so I do like Fitzpatrick this week. And I love Cameron Young, but I think he's going to be super popular, which is a problem.
I kind of feel like Cam Young. I don't know if you bet him or not. I got him at 30-1 as a
I got
bet.
him at 40-1.
I was just going to say, I feel like his odds should have been 40 or 45-1. I had a very busy week at work. I didn't get to the odds of betting till late last night, so maybe they did fall. I really felt like I would see him around that 40 or 45-1, and I kind of feel like I missed the boat on that one a little bit there.
He's just, so Cameron Young and Eric Cole are always priced ridiculously low for the fact that they have not won on tour. They have not won on tour, and they are always 40 and below, which is pretty much, although I think Eric Cole has drifted now, but still, they're so popular, and they just, so their odds are always lower because they're so popular.
But I do kind of feel like that this is a week. I don't know if Cam Young's going to win. He hasn't won yet. But I kind of feel like if he's going to win or at least break out of his slump, and not that he's in a slump, but break out and really, really make a charge to a win, this is kind of the week that he could do it, Jason.
He's getting 2.4 strokes here over the last 8 rounds. So that is the highest in the field.
This is the course. This is the kind of course that he went, a long ball striking course. This is the kind of course that he wins on if he can get it together. Is there anybody in this range, I guess, that I like a lot of these same plays that you guys are talking about. Is there anybody that maybe ownership will get you off of, or anybody that you're fading in this range, I guess is the way to put it?
Personally, to me, I wanted to get off of Adam Scott, but I ended up, I got Adam Scott bet at 25-1. He should be 50-1. Honestly, it's Adam Scott we're talking about here, but his ownership percentage is super high. His odds are super low. I wanted to stay off of him, but as building lineups went, I just kept getting stuck with just the right amount of money to play Adam Scott. And, I don't know.
I feel like there's super interesting pivots, though. Like, obviously, Adam Scott's course history here is amazing, but
Amazing.
is he the golfer that he was when most of this course history happened? I don't know. And I feel like there's pivots that I really like in this range. Fitzpatrick's one, like Elyse said.
Yeah.
The other one's Jason Day. I mean, he's had pretty good course history here, too. I think, he finished 9th here last year. He's been in relatively good form, and his game, in theory, sets up well for this course. So I like Jason Day as a pivot.
Back to your point on Adam Scott. Yeah, he didn't have good results last year here, but he had a win back in 2005 here, but he also won this in 2020, and he had a 4th place finish in 2022.
I think he won 2 in a row, didn't he? At one point?
Yeah, maybe he won 2 in a row. He's won this so many times that I don't know. I can't get off of him.
I love him.
On a regular
I love
basis.
Adam Scott. I play Adam Scott just about every week that he plays, but I'm seeing 26% ownership already. Like, that just seems so high.
No, my guess is he goes up to about 30% in the ownership bracket.
But he's the last 36 rounds I'm looking, he's gaining 1.02 strokes on approach, which is the highest in this range that I can see. So if you like him,
it's hard.
Definitely his numbers
I can't talk myself out of him. I just couldn't. I wanted to, but I couldn't.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, we got my man K1 checking in Core 12 hashtag. Benny on this week. I don't know. He's down in that 7K range, that next range we talk about. I know nothing about Benny on this week because he is nowhere in any of my 2 pages of notes.
I don't think he's played here before.
He's not on any of my cards anywhere. I don't got anything on.
I don't think he's played here before.
No. He just likes me to say Benny on. That's the only reason why he said that. Let's go down into that lower 7K range, though, before we move on here. Again, lots of names. You mentioned Eric Cole a lot. Nicholas Højgaard, Willie Zalatoris is somebody I'm keeping a lot of an eye on this week. Lots of names: Hideki, Fowler. Actually, let's touch on Fowler. Jason brought up before the show and before you joined the chat, Elyse, that has Ricky Fowler re-broken himself again this year.
Yes.
I think so too.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Someone on Twitter asked me, "What do you think of Ricky Fowler?" My first reaction was, "He's not good."
Yeah, he looks broken again.
Like he worked so hard to get back and finally get that win last year. Actually, that was my last outright win I hit. I think last year. I think he broke me last year. Yeah, I don't think you can get behind Ricky Fowler at all for at least the next couple months till he starts turning around, if he ever does. But in this range, at least, any of these people in this range ring a bell to you?
I like Højgaard. I really like Højgaard in this range. I think he has the ball striking, and he's a little bit underrated. Although I actually have seen him on a fair number of outright cards, but I do really like Højgaard in this range. I also like Zalatoris, I think, because Zalatoris has played so well here, and he's obviously he got off to a horrible start, but that was to be expected coming back from back surgery. But then so his first 2 starts he lost strokes, but then he was gaining strokes on his last 2 starts. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, I absolutely am in love with Will Zalatoris, and I heard something on Rick Run Good this week that you're not going to get him in the 50-1 range much longer. You're not going to get him sub 8K on DraftKings much longer. Pounce on that, because at some point soon he's gonna win, or at least contend to win for real an event. And then right after that, his draft he'll be back into the mid 9s before you know it. He'll be back to the 22-1 range before you know it. This is a week, even with the 17% ownership, Jason, that I couldn't. He's my second most clicked guy, Will Zalatoris, this week, and I bet him 53-1.
Yeah, I agree.
I like that number.
Yeah, I think you have to play Zalatoris this week. I like Højgaard too a lot, though. I think his game fits perfect for this course. 9% ownership right now, which is amazing.
It's going to go up once they calculate my life as Højgaard.
So there's 2 guys. There's 2 other guys that stick out in this range for me. I have a Russell Henley rule. Don't play him ever when he's chalk, and always play him when he's not chalk. So I like him. I like his approach game. He has pretty decent course history over the years here too. So I like Henley, and the other one is Siwoo Kim.
Oh, I didn't think you were going to bring that guy up.
His course history is not good here. Yeah, it's pretty bad, but he has been just awesome lately. So I like Siwoo a lot this week.
I was hoping no one brought up Siwoo Kim so I could be the smart guy in the room and mention him, but I guess that didn't happen.
9% ownership too. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised Siwoo is actually that high. Maybe there's just a lot more smart people like us that like Siwoo Kim this week. Elyse, any other names before? Because K1 wants to hear me say another name. So K1 loves to criticize my name pronunciation. He missed me properly pronouncing your name to start the show, though. So.
Nobody else in this range for me.
He wants to hear me say Christian Bezuidenhout.
Christian.
He just thinks it's hilarious.
Christian Bezuidenhout.
Yeah.
Bezuidenhout. It will always be Bezuidenhout to me. No matter how many people correct me, it will always be Bezuidenhout.
I think you also mispronounced Aubert at the start.
Did I? Oh my god! Now you're jumping up.
I heard him say it the other day.
Hey, you just found a new friend in K1 that is going to love you for criticizing my pronunciation.
It is definitely Aubert. I heard him say it in an interview. So
did I say Aubert?
No, you said Aberg. It's Aubert.
I don't even know what I said sometimes. Just an idiot that talks a lot, like I said, Jason, in the past. All right, I think actually because the top of the card, DraftKings wise, is so strong that you do got to dip into this 6K range. And with the cut, most players making the cut, you could play DraftKings wise. Some of these guys in the 6K range. And there's some guys I like. I've seen people bet some of these guys. I did bet one long shot in the 6K range because, you better bet one just in case. Everybody's talking about Kurt Kitayama. Jason, do you like Kurt Kitayama this week, or is he too chalky for you?
Can I guess your bet?
You can guess my bet. Sure, go for it. Well, I put him on Twitter.
Oh, I didn't see
much
it.
of a guess.
I didn't see it. Is it?
Yeah, I saw it, so I know who it is. I'm not gonna. Then
who'd you say,
Jason? Go
Hoagie?
guess.
Hollywood Hoagie.
No, it's not. I have Hoagie nowhere on my card. I got Sam Ryder at 250 to 1.
Okay.
He's actually been playing pretty solid golf, lately, and it's 6K on the DraftKings board. You just can't beat Sam Ryder. He's definitely making the cut. So there's no way. The fact that he is literally criminally underpriced, tied with Chase Johnson, an guy that's exempt, or sponsor exemption. They mispriced Sam Ryder in this field big time. I mean, no offense to Nick Dunlop. Nick Dunlop's 6,400. Tiger Woods hasn't played in how long? He's 6,500. You could have made Sam Ryder over 6K this week. Don't worry, K1. I'll never change.
I agree.
Anybody you like down here, Jason?
To be honest, no. Hoagie's the one that kind of sticks out a little bit, but I don't.
I'll wait and see if Elyse likes anybody bore I give you some of the other names I like down here.
All right, I have two names in this range. I like Adam Svensson, and I also like Luke List. Luke List, I bet outright. Luke List actually has some win equity against.
Yes.
He won the Farmers. Like he has win equity. So, and he's gaining strokes pretty much across the board except for putting, but he always struggles on putting a little bit. So, but he does have the ball striking to be able to compete with the people in the 9K and 10K range. So I really like Luke List in this range.
I'm going to bring up one other name in this range I like, not to win, but on a DraftKings board. The guy hasn't missed a cut since the Travelers last year. He's one of only 5 golfers. The other 4 golfers are Max Homa, Xander Schauffele, Fleetwood, and how do you say his name? Aberg?
Aubert.
Aberg. He's only the 5th other name in that group that's in the top tier in around the green, scrambling, sand saves, and putting this week. All which is going to be very critical this week. So he's not going to win. I would not bet him to win, but I did put him in a bunch of lineups, and that's Brendan Todd. Very elite short game and putter, which is going to come into play this week massively.
That's interesting.
I think I just peeked.
This doesn't really feel like a Brendan Todd course, though.
I don't even know what his course history is off the top of my head. I could pull it up real quick. Brendan Todd missed the cut the last 2 times he played here, and T56. The last time he made the cut was T56 in 2020. So he doesn't have great course history, but he has played it before. So at least he has some familiarity with the course. I don't know. Nobody's missing the cut. There's a chance that less than 5 guys.
With a flyer in a couple, lineups.
Like I said, I've got a lot of DraftKings lineups with Rory, Homa, Cantlay, multiple of those guys. So if you're going to do that, if you're going to play the heroes and zeros or the stars and scrubs style of lineups, you got to take some chances. And I think Brendan Todd is a very, very reasonable play on a DraftKings card.
Yep.
Okay.
You have to take chances in DraftKings, and you have to try to be different at times.
I mean, I know you do your betting, and you do great work with betting. Do you play like the DFS side of golf at all, or
I do. I play every week.
You do?
I do play single entry mostly only, but I do play the $12 and the $5 single entry every week.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So that's the key thing we always talk about. You got to find the events or the tournaments that fit you the best and your style of building lineups and stuff like that. Because I always talk about I have a lot of success in the single entry showdowns, and I keep telling Jason I need to up my, change the tournaments I'm in and play more single entries. But I'm like, I dominate those $1 and $3 single entries. Why would I get off of it? You know what I mean? Just keep doing what's making me money on a weekly basis. So I might as well stick to it. Finding what fits for you. All right, so we got two things we do here, Elyse, on this show. We do a one and done. We've got the guest one and done, Jason's one and done, and my one and done. I'm dominating one and done right now. And we do a DraftKings lineup build on the show. And since our guest last week came in last place, sorry, Rashad. Thanks again. Shout out to Rashad for a great job last week on the show. His lineup just stunk last week. That's all there is to it. So Rashad, shout out to you though, my man. So you get the first pick. So the way the DraftKings lineup pick we do is no overlapping. You go first, and I go second. Jason goes third and fourth. We do a little snake draft here. Cannot duplicate any players. So whoever you take one, I can't take. So there's no copying on any players here. And this segment of the show, it's brought to you by Fantasy Golf Pod, our friends Chad and company over there. Check them out at Fantasy Golf Pod. They go live 4:00 on Wednesdays, cracking beers and talking golf. So make sure you check them out. So Elyse, without further ado, you get the first pick in our fantasy
Golf Pod just dropped us as a sponsor too, since you just.
Oh, they didn't.
I'm kidding.
I'm going to get Chad on next week just to prove.
I'm kidding.
I think you know where I'm going, Scotty Scheffler.
You're going Scotty Scheffler. I got to find a piece of paper to write this down so I don't overlap on it here. Scheffler.
No one hurts.
Elyse, Jason. So I go next. So that's perfect because nobody likes him. So I'm going to go Patrick Cantlay.
Nobody likes him.
Nobody likes him. Just nobody on this camera.
Yeah, you're right.
No, nobody in golf likes the person of Patrick Cantlay either.
Well, I mean,
hold on. Let's sidetrack here for a second because I'm going to say 2 weeks ago when Victor Hovland had his terrible round of golf that forced him to withdraw from his next event, he was playing really good golf. And then he got paired with Patrick Cantlay, I believe, in the third round. And then all of a sudden, Victor Hovland fell apart because Patrick Cantlay took, I forget what hole. He had a ball in the water, and he was trying to determine whether it cleared and where to drop. And Patrick Cantlay took like 5-6 minutes to figure that out. Victor Hovland fell apart at that moment. So Patrick Cantlay definitely pisses a lot of golfers off, too.
He's slow.
Yep.
Boring.
He is very slow. I love it. Jason, you're on the board with 2 picks now.
All right. I feel pressure to pick this guy because, actually, you know what? I feel pressure to pick both of these guys. Hogard is my first pick, and then Zalatoris is my second pick.
I love both those picks. That really kills me because I got my player pool sitting over here, and they're both in my player pool this week. So you just took 2 names off my list right there. So I'm going to go different. Well, I'm not going to go different from my player pool, but I'm just going to go on the bottom end of the lineup here just to save myself as much as possible, and that is that Mr. 6K Sam Ryder with my next pick. And that puts Elyse on the board, making 2 picks in a row.
I'm going to go first with Cameron Young. I almost said Scam Young.
People criticize my name pronunciation.
No, scam is my nickname for Cameron Young because he's a scam because he's never won.
I just love when I see your betting cards and I see scam on there. That makes me so happy every time.
This is such a bogus comment. All right. I do not. I mean, I might be pronouncing Patrick Cantlay wrong too. I don't know. Don't you tell me never to change, K1. You never change, just so you know. So Cam Young, who's your next pick, Elyse?
Luke List. That's my
Luke
next.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
That is good. I have not gotten Luke List right since he won the Farmers, so I'm just staying away from him because when I bet him or play him, he stinks now. I got my one Luke List hit in, and I'll never hit him again. So that puts me back on the board, doesn't it? It does. All right, let's go here. Let's see here. 8,600 left on the board. Oh man, you took that guy. You took that guy. I got nobody left. We're gonna go Sam Burns. I do love Sam Burns this week.
Sam Burns.
Sam Burns off the board here. JT or Justin, Jason. What's your name? Jason.
Been friends for 4 years. Thanks.
It's been a long couple days. All right,
Justin,
I'm exhausted.
whatever your name is. I'm gonna
Whatever your
go
name.
Hideki.
Okay.
Well, too low of a price for that good of a golfer.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go him.
Sure.
Then I'm gonna go with Morikawa.
All right. Two good golfers right there. You're building. Look at that lineup, man. Hoygaard, Zalatoris, Decky, and Morikawa.
I can't leave this team. I'm not gonna lie.
That is a pretty. I might have to add an extra single entry just to enter that one. Just again, I enter this in the $1 single entry. I think that's what Jason does. At least wherever you're entering yours, tell everybody so they don't duplicate you in a lineup, please.
$5 single entry and $12 single entry.
Okay.
Single entry.
Do not duplicate this lineup in one of those guys. Do not do it. We don't need dupes. So that puts me back on the board. Oh man, this is tough. We're gonna go see Woo Kim. We're gonna save some money. We're gonna go see Woo Kim. That puts me with a couple top guys I can pick here.
All right, back to me, I think.
Yep. Back to you for
Two.
two more.
All right. To Eric Cole, which is going to be different, I know, but he's one of my favorite golfers, obviously, because I kept talking about him. And Jordan Spieth.
Ooh, killed me. I was hoping to get Jordan Spieth with my next pick there. Man. All right. So I got this pick, and then I'll have one more in a little bit. I just got to test something out here. I promised myself I wouldn't do this, but I might do
I
this.
promised myself I wouldn't do this.
Just because this is just the one single entry, and everyone's going to make the cut mostly. So I'm going to pick the one golfer that'll probably miss the cut here. He's not in my player pool. I'm breaking my player pool rule just for this round, just for this contest. And there's one Mr. Tiger Woods.
Wow.
Hold on. What is his ownership projection like? I am just curious here. Hold on here.
I can look real quick.
3.4%.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a time where he was that lowly owned? Wow.
3 point. That's wow.
Yeah. That leaves me in a lot of room left on this card. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Jason,
All right, I'm up.
your final two picks. How can you perfect this line? You got Hoygaard, Zalatoris, Decky, and Morikawa. How can you perfect this card?
You perfect it by picking Justin Thomas and Wyndham Clark.
Yeah.
You've got all major winners, guys that could win a major, and then Nicholas Hoygaard. At least you see how we have fun here, I got to rip on my man Jason as many times as I can here.
Wait, you don't think Hoygaard can win a major?
I'm just kidding.
Hoygaard
No,
wins a major one day. Put it on the board.
He could win a major one day,
I think the dude's
someday.
I think he wins a major at some point.
Some point, maybe. All right, my final pick is Rory. So my lineup's locked with Cantley, Ryder, Burns, Siwoo Kim,
Wait,
Tiger Woods, and
What
Rory.
was your last pick?
Rory McIlroy.
Oh, okay.
This lineup is either going to win the single entry or it is going to finish in dead last because this is the most mixed matched lineup I've ever seen here. So you get your final pick now, Elyse, with your last spot here.
Sven.
Spencer,
Spencer.
I like it.
T9
He's
here
another
last
guy.
week.
Do you also, like every other person, have those guys that you just can't seem to get right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Because
I told you,
Spencer's one of those guys.
Fitzpatrick is and Keegan Bradley are the two thorns in my side
Keegan
because
Bradley's a good one.
Keegan Bradley, that was the last name I had off. I crossed off on the Zozo. I nearly bet him, and the last name I crossed off on Zozo. Fitzpatrick, RBC Heritage, when he won, that was one of the last names I crossed off. And again, his U.S. Open win, that was the literal last name I crossed off. Yeah,
I almost want to my names that I cross off. I almost want to white them out or black them out on my screen so that I can't track those guys throughout the week, because that happens to me all the time too, where we'll just fade that guy at the last second, then they go on and win. All right, let's go one and done. Jason, where are we at with the one and dones now?
You're smoking me. You topped $1 million last week, so you are at 1,092,000. I'm at 365K. Not.
And what did our man Rashad win last week with his one and done? Who did he have last week?
He had Burns.
Okay, so he had
That's
a good
good play.
number last.
Yeah,
that was a good play. I liked Sam Burns last week a lot. Elyse, as the guest of honor, if you had to pick a one and done this week, who is your one and done?
Signature event.
Tiger Woods.
I'm going.
I mean, he'll make the cut.
I'm probably going Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty Scheffler with a one and done. I mean, you can't go wrong with Scotty Scheffler as a one and done. Jason, you can go next if you want.
Oh, I'm gonna go Morikawa.
Morikawa. Yeah, I haven't even thought about this yet. I don't even remember who I've taken and not taken. So I'm gonna go with a guy that I know I haven't taken. Oh man, I don't want to use him yet though this year. I think he could get hot later this year. I want to go Cam Young, but I don't know if I should. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna go Cam Young right off the bat this week with my one and done.
Scam Young.
I gotta just write this stuff down so I don't forget, because I know Jason will try to scam me later and say, no, you picked Tiger Woods.
Can I ask Elyse a question before we go?
You can ask her 3 questions if you want.
Just one. I just want to know about your process, your weekly process in terms of how you get on the golfers that you get on.
So I start with John Hasselbauer's article every week. He's
every week.
And also listen to Inside Golf with Andy Lack. Those are my first 2 go-tos, and then I look at the, like I said, last 36 rounds usually on Rick Run Good or Data Golf. I have both, so I look at that, and then it's also just so I have that in mind going into Sunday, and then on Sunday, and then Monday usually, unless I'm at work and I can't place bets, which happens quite a bit, but then I'll look for the value on Monday morning, because the numbers go really quickly. You have to get them all, get on it right away if you like somebody. So there's a lot of times when I won't get on somebody right away, and I'll settle for less good odds.
Me with Cam Young this week.
If I haven't decided, there's some weeks I make up my mind really fast, and I know every single golfer I'm going to bet on Monday morning. Some weeks I don't know. I'm not decided. So it really depends. In that.
Do we cover all your bets and all your plays this week, or do you have any other great plays that you like this week that we missed?
So my outright card right now is Aubert, Scam Young, Wendy Clark, and Luke List. I added Spieth. Obviously, I might add one more, but I don't have much more room. So I like to try to be at 3 units to return 20, 21 units, roughly. Some weeks I tend to average 2.7 units really to win 20 and 21. But yeah, it really just depends on the week.
Jason, did you place any bets this week?
I did not. No. Pass me.
Gotcha. No, it's all good. Like I said, I got most of my investment on Cantlay this week, a little bit on Cam Young and Zalatoris, but I did actually place. We didn't really talk about him a lot this week, but I kind of feel like Max Homa, last event in California. He likes to play in California. I did throw a little bit of a bet there on Max Homa this week as well. We didn't talk about him at all.
What are his odds? What are Max's odds?
I got him at 18-1. I don't know where they started. Again, I didn't get to the even.
That's roughly where they started.
Yeah, that's where it started.
Roughly, I mean, I don't. He was never above 20-1. So 18-1 is a good number. Especially for Max Homa is one of the best putters on POA in the field. So it's good bounce back.
Fantastic success here. He's already won, finished second last year. I always tell people, someone asked me why I bet Max Homa this week. I'm like, I feel him this week. And I don't know if you've got one of these golfers. I have not missed a Max Homa win on my outright card in the last 3 years. I've hit every time Max Homa's won in the last 3 years. And I kind of feel like this might be the week for him. So whenever I feel a Max Homa coming, I make a bet. Real quick, I got to shout out our sponsors again one more time. Fantasy Golf Pod, Chad and company there tomorrow, 4 o'clock on all their social media platforms. You check them out. FantasyNational.com for all your model making tools. That you check them out, and if you use them, the Max Homa, 3 syllables. Is it Max Homa? Yeah, it is. Wow, how about that? Yeah, I can say 3-syllable words. Make sure you check out FantasyNational.com, Fantasy Golf Pod. Make sure you follow our new favorite person in the world here, Elyse Shimada, at ES Golf Bets on Twitter. She always does put out great tweets and great content there. Jason Sullivan involved me at JSully2121. I am Phil Stiefel, Bearded Knowledge, Philadelphia Sports Network. Thank you all very much for tuning in. We'll be back next. Oh, yeah, Michigan State. Go Michigan State. Jason will not be back next week. Jason's got to go to a Michigan State basketball game. Big deal there, Going to 2 basketball games in 1 season must be nice. But everybody have a great night. We'll be back next week. I'm not sure who'll be sitting next to me next week. We'll figure that out. Everybody have a great Valentine's Day. Elyse, happy Valentine's. Jason, we'll give Jax a little fist pound for Valentine's Day for me.
I just want to say thank you for that heart-shaped pizza you sent me today. That meant a lot.
Send you a heart-shaped pizza. All right. I will be making a lot of heart-shaped pizzas tomorrow. Okay. Just I own a pizza shop, Elyse. So that's my go-to. I hate Valentine's Day. Been married, happily married for a long time. We both hate it massively, my wife and I. But we love it because we make a lot of money on heart-shaped pizza. So
my husband and I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. We've never exchanged gifts once on Valentine's Day.
Smart.
Have we ever? I haven't exchanged a gift with my wife in any holiday in probably 15 years now. We've been married 17
Any
years.
holiday. Wow.
We don't buy each other gifts because we take vacations and we work hard, and that's what we do. And we have our dogs take up all our money, so that's a subject for another show. By the way, that's our final thing for the day. Happy birthday to Old Man Al. He turned 16 today. We adopted him almost 4 years ago. Gave him a little retirement home, and he is living his best life. We gave him some hot dogs tonight with his food. He's the happiest man in the world. So happy birthday to my Old Man Al right there. Everybody have a great day. We'll be back next week, Tuesday, 9 p.m. as always. And see you guys tomorrow on Trending in the AM.